So if I was a ticket holder and he didn't play my game, I'd be pretty pissed off. Paid a bunch of money for someone that didn't show up. It's just not right. Anyway, basically, that was pretty much it. But what else I don't like about soccer? They have this stoppage time thing. Basically, it kind of sucks because the good thing is you got a running clock, which is good because it keeps the game flowing. But at the same time, you got this thing called stoppage time, where basically at the end of the game or at the end of each half, basically, referee allows a certain amount of time on to the regulated time, which is kind of like overtime, but not official overtime. And basically stops on his whistle. So you might say, the referee might say, oh, there's 5 minutes of extra added time left before the end of the game. Okay, we know it's 5 minutes, but we don't know when that 5 minutes ends. And he keeps the clock, the official clock, of course, every referee does in pretty much every sport. But it kind of, or at least a question mark, and soccer will have a hard time, I think, but it's more of a traditional thing, I guess, more of an old-fashioned type thing, I think, because it's been done like that before in American football and stuff like that. But soccer seems to continue to do that. I prefer the Saved by the Bell type clock system, and of course, international, they want to count up stuff. We Americans like to traditionally count down. We like to know how much time's left, not how much time's been accumulated. We can care less what's been accumulated. But over time, we've gotten used to, since soccer is soccer, and soccer's going to do their thing with the little 90-minute thing and the kicking back and forth and stuff. Besides that, I don't really have too many issues with soccer besides the league format and stuff, and little stuff like that. It's all good. What I like about soccer is, like I said, it's a passionate game. Fans go crazy. Dispense, the flair of the game, the footwork is phenomenal. Watching the World Cup and watching people like Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Brazilian players, especially Brazilian players, just work the ball like Allen Iverson works the basketball, how Michael Jordan works the basketball. They do it with their feet, and it's incredible. You don't use your hands, which is on the contrary to most American sports where you do use your hands, especially like hockey, which is very comparable to soccer in a lot of ways. But hockey, they use a stick and requires coordination and stuff when dribbling with the stick and the puck, just like it is in soccer. You should feed the ball, and everybody, a lot of people say, well, how come the rest of the world likes soccer but the United States don't? And it's a lot of things. Some people say, oh, soccer is a very simple game, American sports are very complicated, and this and that. And I'm like, well, from a modern perspective, soccer is on television anyway, or in person it's a different mindset. On television, it's kind of hard to follow on television. Even if you watch the British broadcasting, the Sky Sports, or I watch soccer channels, so I show a lot of Premier League games on there. It's very plain presented. It's very presented plainly compared to a lot of American broadcasting. The way they broadcast the games here in the States, as for football and basketball, is very soccer is very plain presented wise. The announcers don't really talk that much. They let the game flow as it is, which is good, and sometimes it's bad, especially when you're trying to win American viewers. Yes, you do have the very, very few American viewers that embrace that, but at the same time, you have the very majority of us American sports fans just like, what the hell? You see a guy with a ball, and you kicking back and forth to some other guy, and you barely hear anything on it. Now, what I like is the Spanish broadcast, because they kind of broaden it, and they kind of paint more of a picture. They get really excited, and they like to go, and so it kind of really gets it to, interest But most of the British, nothing against the British when it comes to broadcasting their soccer games, because I mean they've been doing it for a long time. But it's not entertainment. It's not good entertainment wise when presented in America. It's just my opinion, of course. Other people might say otherwise, but I mean, if anything, I'll probably watch a Spanish broadcast, but I prefer to watch English broadcast. But that's just me. But I was supposed to talk about DC United, but like I said, besides the soccer, I talked about DC United earlier. Talk about them one more time. Basically, DC United, for a new season will be starting in late March, last week of March, and hopefully we go all the way this time to the MLS Cup. You know, the supporter shield's okay. I think it's just for them so-called die-hard traditional soccer fans, but the problem is the traditional soccer fan doesn't understand American sports, I don't think, because they say, well, we need single table, we need promotional relegation, but you gotta also think about that compared to a lot of teams like, you know, Boca, River, or English teams or European teams, European squads, the teams have been around for a long time. Major League Soccer is only 12 years old, 13 years old. We only got we're about to have 15 teams in the next 16 teams in the next couple of years. Right now we got 14 this season with San Jose as the expansion team coming in. And good luck to the San Jose Earthquakes doing their thing. They deserve it. And basically, I expect nothing less from DC United. We have to win the MLS Cup. It's nothing else. Don't give me this crap saying, oh, we did a good season, we won a supporter shield. If anything, I have nothing against the supporter shield. But supporter shield only serious incentive is maybe a spot at the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Super League, which is, like I said, it's a brand new tournament. A lot of people are trying to bank on that, but I think it's just mostly a money fed, just mostly a cash cow. It only benefits really the Mexican League more than it does the MLS. And that's another thing too. DC United gotta step up. I mean, we gotta dominate. We're not dominating. We're barely getting out the gate. Mid-season come around, and you know we win it, but we die out at the end. You know, we play teams like Chicago or New England that knows when it's time to play in the playoffs. They know when the next level is, and that's the problem. I think a lot of diehard soccer fans don't understand about American sports and why we have playoffs that decide the champion, the true champion. The little regular season stuff doesn't really add up. Sorry, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't. I mean, I like watching Premier League and stuff, but when it gets to the technicalities of, you know, who's on top of the table, that's about it. And it really leaves you in a cliffhanger. To me, it does, because here it is. You play 38 games from August all the way to May, and you finish first, second, third, fourth, just for some tournament that you play next year. I understand it, but I really find no point. But that's just, like I said, it's my opinion. It's just my opinion. I find no point in that. But then again, I mean, you don't see that in Major League Soccer, and I hope Major League Soccer doesn't stoop to the that style of format. It really will kill soccer in America if you have a single table consisting of 16 to 20 teams all lined up one by one down one standing step. Yeah, it sounds simple and all the other stuff, but it won't go far. It really won't. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna explain it more. I mean, people's gonna go like, what the hell? You know? Then you got some people say, well, you can still have the playoffs in it, but it doesn't really add to the equation, because if you have a single table and you have playoffs, it's like, well, why would you have playoffs if you got a single table? And you got some people say, well, you don't need playoffs to determine the champion. But to be honest with you, that's the right way to go. This stuff that European doing, I mean, if that's what they like, that's what they like. But to be honest with you, it's very disorganized to me. It's something. I mean, games are game. You know, European soccer reminds me a lot of college football. You got those certain leagues out there that they have to have it that way. Like some of the leagues remind me of the Pac-10, the Big Ten with the Rose Bowl. He's like, look, we have to have our roll ball. We want it done